Hello, NICU mamas. Welcome to the club. I know this is probably not a club that you want to be a part of, but here you are. And I think that, I'm just going to speak to you from my own personal experience. And I understand that obviously everyone's experience is different. So maybe not everything I say will relate to you, but hopefully there's some help here. And I am currently 3 years post NICU. Actually, today is our little boy's birthday. He turns 3 today. So post NICU, and obviously now living in the victory. But I don't forget the journey, and it has shaped me honestly into a different person in a lot of ways. But hopefully, I can maybe help you. I'm not sure where I'm catching you in your journey. Maybe you are already post NICU. Maybe you're, still pregnant, but know that you're going into a NICU journey. Maybe you just got thrown into one and you're currently in the middle of it. I'm not sure where I'm catching you on your journey, but hopefully I can help in some way. So for me personally, I have always been kind of maybe prided myself a little bit on being a strong woman, being mentally tough. And because of that, when I went into this journey, a lot of my friends, they encouraged me that way. And they were very, very well intentioned. And I was appreciative of it. But they would tell me, like, you are the strongest woman I know. If anyone's got this, you got this. And I, again, appreciated that so much. But I think maybe I let it almost get in my way because I did want to be strong. I did want to uphold my reputation. I did want to be mentally tough. I did want to be positive. And so I kind of just barreled through the NICU journey. Yes, it was hard. Yes, I cried. Yes, it was emotional. And yes, I struggled for sure, but I didn't really let people know how much I was struggling. I didn't really admit to all of that. And I think again that did hurt me. And so I'll come back to that. But some things that did help me, through the NICU journey, one of them was making a playlist. I know sitting in the NICU, there's not much to do, especially in the beginning. You're holding this tiny little baby who's hooked up to a million cords, and there's not a lot to do. And so I made a playlist of worship songs that really spoke to me and encouraged me. I had a Kindle app on my phone where I could read books, and I chose books that were encouraging, uplifting. For me, they were all spiritually based books. And so I think we've got some of those listed in our resource section on the website, some devotionals, things like that I read that just brought me encouragement. They uplifted me. And I did it from my phone because again, I'd be sitting there holding this little tiny baby, and there's only so much you can do. So I would try to read on my phone. Other things that, might help you take your mind off of it. Outside of the NICU, we had two other kids at home. I had two little girls at home, and so I needed to spend time with them. I understand that if you have other children, you're probably going to feel guilt, whether you're at home or whether you're at the hospital. You're missing out on something with one of your children, and so understand that there's nothing to feel guilty about. You need to spend time with your children at home. You need to spend time with your baby in the NICU, but you can't be in both places 24/7. So give yourself grace in that area. When you are outside of the NICU, don't feel guilty about enjoying your time outside of the NICU. I know that like at first I was like, I can't be happy. I can't just be out here, having a good old time while my baby's in the NICU. But I needed that. I needed that release. I needed to get out and take walks in the sunshine. I needed to go grab a cup of coffee and sit down and relax for a minute. I needed to spend time with my girls and pour into them still. I needed to spend time with my husband. I needed to talk to my husband. I needed to be able to have some of that release. So I encourage you, don't feel guilty about that. You have to do what you have to do as a mom, as a wife, and, moving forward in whatever your specific situation is, and finding someone to talk to. Let someone know if you are struggling, talk about it. Find a trusted friend, find a pastor, find a professional counselor if you need that. There's no shame in that. Again, I just kind of barreled through things and I didn't process through all of that. So for me personally, post NICU was actually pretty tough for me because it was kind of like everything that I had bottled up exploded in my face at one point. And I realized that I had so many emotions, so many things that I needed to process through, because I had kind of played the whole like, well, at least my baby is healthy now. At least my baby is coming home. At least I get to bring my baby home. There are other people who don't get to do that. And I get that. Yes, I was grateful. I was thankful. I was appreciative that my baby came home and that he didn't have any super significant things that he had to go through. But that didn't take away from the trauma that I had experienced really in his birthing process, or, the trauma of honestly just leaving the hospital without your baby. That's traumatic. Going home and your baby's not there. Different things like, your baby's on your chest and maybe they stop breathing, or all the things that you have to process through the NICU. I had to take the time to, one, acknowledge that was scary, it was hard, and, it wasn't fair. There was a lot of things I missed out on as a mom. I didn't, get to, for me, it was my 3rd child, so I wasn't gonna have a baby shower anyway, but maybe it's your 1st child. Maybe you missed out on a baby shower. Maybe you missed out on, just getting to bring your baby home and have all your family come over and love and adore. There's so many things that you missed out on, if you have a NICU baby. So take the time to process through that stuff. It is unfair. It does stink. It's not fun. It's not easy. Now, I encourage you to not get stuck in that. I encourage you to actually process through it and heal from it and move past it, because it can be easy to get resentful. It can be easy to get bitter. It can be easy to get angry. And I encourage you to not get to that point. I encourage you to open yourself up to allow experiencing all those emotions, but then I encourage you to really heal from that. For me, that took some really good books again that I read that really helped me in the healing process. That took a lot of time with God, a lot of time in prayer, a lot of questioning God, honestly, wrestling with God a little bit and trying to figure out why all this stuff happened. It took, just time to acknowledge that and to be validated. And honestly, I think that that's important. Here's another thing to understand. Most of your friends and family, they're not going to get it. They're not going to understand, and that's okay. I had some people say things to me that were pretty hurtful, but I had to understand that they were well intentioned, and I had to understand that they didn't get it, and that was okay, because I didn't expect them to get it. How could they fully get it? And part of that again was my fault because I kind of barreled through it and didn't really let them know how much I was struggling. And so I encourage you to be honest with people, to open up to people, but to understand that most people aren't going to understand. Most people aren't going to fully get it. And again, that's something that you're going to have to process through on your own journey, and you're going to have to figure out how to heal from that. For me, I had a little bit of struggle, actually, probably a significant struggle with anxiety, which I had not dealt with ever in the past. And this popped up, and it was pretty significant for a while. And once I kind of allowed myself to have my feelings validated, to process through them, to acknowledge what I had been through, and to heal from it, the anxiety lifted and it went away. And it's not something I deal with. So if you're dealing with depression or anxiety or PTSD or panic attacks or any of that stuff, you need to acknowledge that. You need to process through that and you need to heal from that. And in my opinion, this is all my opinion. I want you to understand that everybody's journey is different. I'm not here to judge or condemn or tell you this is how you have to do it. This is in my opinion, this is in my experience. And so again, I encourage you to walk your journey. I encourage you to give yourself so much grace. Being a mom is hard anyway. And then you throw in a NICU journey on top of it, and postpartum hormones and emotions and all of it. It's hard. So give yourself space, give yourself grace, and allow yourself to be healed, allow yourself to be set free. In my opinion, press into God, seek that freedom from Him, seek that healing from Him, and put yourself on a journey to where you are a testimony, you are a victory. You can help other moms maybe going through the same type of thing, and you're able to be a support. So that's why we created Tiny But Mighty, to be a support system. Please reach out on the contact us if you would like to maybe have a chat, maybe have a Zoom call or something like that. I'd love to connect with you. So I hope this helped, and I hope that your journey goes as smoothly as possible.